In this video, I'm going to reveal my Instagram strategy that allowed me to grow from 0 followers with a brand new Instagram account all the way to 24,000 followers in just 5 months. And I think that if I'd known what I know now in the beginning, I would have grown it to over 100,000 followers. So with that said, I'll share with you my Instagram strategy that allowed me to grow to 24,000 followers in just 5 months. And then I'll share with you exactly how I'm tweaking my strategy in 2025 to grow it to over 100,000 followers. So as of now, I have 24.9 thousand followers, so just under 25,000 followers, and it hasn't even been 6 months yet. So let's go all the way back to the origins, the very humble beginnings of my content creation journey. So my first post was June 3rd of 2024. This was my video. I can't play the sound, unfortunately, because the music will get copyrighted. So this is the kind of content that I was posting. The stuff that was popular at this time was people literally just like running around in national forests or like on the beach or in bluffs and stuff. So that's what I started with. I was replicating the content that was already popular because I was hoping that the algorithm would push it because so many people were obviously enjoying it. So I literally I went on Instagram and I would scroll through my feed and I would see what was popular, and videos like this were super popular. So that's exactly what I did. And the way that I did this was I would take a bunch of clips, I would go to a national park, I would record myself with my tripod, I'd set my phone on my tripod, record myself running around, all that stuff. And then I would take all that footage, literally just like randomize it in Premiere Pro, post it, randomize it again, post it again, randomize it again, post it again, because that allowed me to do different iterations of the same content and continue posting that to see what would stick. So in the beginning, here we see like it has hundreds of views, but when I was first posting this stuff, I barely even made hundreds of views. So this is just an effect of me, kind of having a bit of a following now and people going back and looking at this stuff. But when I was posting, I was barely getting any views and like no engagement. Like at the time, these videos were getting like 0 likes. If they got any likes, it'd be like 2 or 3. Like there was like very, very, very little engagement. So that's what I was doing. And I was posting like 3 times a day and I would post at night. So during my free time during the day, I would literally go through Instagram and scroll and see what I liked. I'd look at what was popular and then I'd tell myself, okay, I'm going to try and do something like that. And I would save it. I'd save the audio and then I'd use it that night on my reels. So this was just me doing that. So yeah, I posted this on June 3rd, 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 this on June 3rd. Like I was going insane with the posting. Yeah, so that was a bunch of posts. All these were on June 5th. I was literally just creating as many posts as I possibly could just to see if something would hit the algorithm. Like, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but June 6th, I probably posted like 5 times. Like June 7th, yeah, that's 3. So I would post at least 3 times a day just to see what would pop, right? And this method I call throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? Some would say this isn't the best method, but I think if you are just starting out, maybe you're not completely sure about what kind of content you want to create. Maybe you don't really have a message yet. You haven't really formed a story yet, and you just want to get content out there, especially if you are doing something interesting with your life and you have cool footage to share. I think this is a just fine strategy if you're okay with that and you have the time to just like post a bunch of shit all the time. I think it's fine. The reason the throw shit at the wall and see what sticks method is good is because it allows you to post so much that you learn really quickly what the algorithm is pushing and you learn what people like, so you can iterate on that. So I'll continue going through this and we'll talk about how I kind of started to iterate once I saw what was picking up steam. So as you can see, like this is still early June. Like this is all of these videos were posted within the same like 2 or 3 day period because I was just posting like a fucking crazy person. I was posting like a madman because I wanted to see what would pop. So going along here, June 7th, I started to experiment a little bit with the format. And so here, yeah, I'm doing like a cool like camera film thing going on because like that was popular too. At that time, this was really popular. Trends come and go, and it's totally okay to hop on a trend to try and catch the wave. So as I'm going along, I'm doing the same thing, da-da-da-da-da. This video did well. I think at that time the video did well because I was showing my face. This video is the first video that got over 1,000 plays. It's literally just a bunch of different footage. So that's another thing about the algorithm. Sometimes it isn't always formulaic. Sometimes things will just pop off and you don't know why, but that's okay. It's also just kind of a game of odds. Like if you post, if you try something 20 times, you're likely to succeed, right? As opposed to just trying something 1 or 2 times. It's very unlikely. You kind of just have to get yourself out there and try stuff, and the more you post, the more likely you are to get something that kind of pops a little bit. And you can see like, okay, cool, this did well. What can I learn from this? So here's another one that did well at the time. Literally just me running on a bluff, playing some guitar in Big Sur. And I left a nice big caption here. So I saw this did well. Okay, all right. And as you can see, I experimented a little bit here too. I added some text on here. All right, that was a little different from the stuff that I did in the past. Okay, all right. So the next one I posted, I added text as well. Similar format. I added, this actually kind of looks like garbage, but it's fine. I was just trying stuff. Added some text. Okay, this one did all right. But the next one did really well. It got 102 likes and it had over 1,000 plays. And for me at the time, that was fantastic. So I was starting to learn, okay, this one did well. Why did it do well? Okay, well, I was running past a bluff. I was running down a path on a bluff away from the camera. That's one thing. I had text up here that I guess some people resonated with. Okay, cool. All right, it was orange. I had it in the sky. This is literally the part of the frame that I put it in. Okay, I'm going to try that again. So I tried it again here, the exact same format. It did well as well. Okay, so I'm learning this is doing well. So the next few videos I posted, I did that exact format. I did the format of me running with the text in the same exact spot because I was hoping that that would do well again because it already proved to do well in the past. So like all my videos within like the rest of that week were formatted in just like that, with the hopes of them going viral. And I experimented with the format. You know, I'd go back doing things like this, but a lot of them were in that same format with the text in the top, me doing something, and it was the same font and everything. It was just like Instagram's default font or whatever. So then the views started to stagnate a little bit. All right, okay. Oh, we get another one that has about 1,000 views. Why? That same damn clip. This is something you'll notice with Instagram. Is if you're reusing clips, the first clip that you use in a reel is very important. It has to be something that grabs people's attention. For whatever reason, this clip here grabs people's attention. For some reason, that clip just grabs people's attention. I don't know why. I'm sure I could analyze this. I'm sure a bunch of people could analyze this and tell me exactly why it grabs people's attention and exactly why it's effective. I don't know. All I knew is that it was working, so I kept using it because when you find something that works, double and triple down on it relentlessly until it doesn't work anymore. So that's what I was doing. I bet I can tell you how this one starts, just like that, with that clip. And guess what? That clip has over 1,000 views. So that's exactly what I was doing. I was experimenting, I was seeing what was working, and then I was doubling and tripling down on that. In my case, it was using that clip first, and then adding other clips to it as well, and kind of changing the text and the caption just to give a little bit of variety. But I was very much so just using what worked. And at this point in time, I didn't even have like 200 followers. Okay, so this is what goes into it. If you're using the method of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, this is how you go about it. It's throwing a bunch of shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. Oh, okay, taking note of that, and then continuing to do that thing. All right, so we're continuing to go along. We have another one that did well, right? So this one has text on it. It's just me doing some weirdo shit. Cool, okay. So as you can see, this one has 1,000 views. This one has over 1,000 views. The videos that have over 1,000 views are starting to do well. This one did well. Sorry, I can't make it. I have plans, the plans. And it's just me climbing that tree. That one did well. Okay, cool. Another format did well. It got over 1,000 views. Okay. So I'm going to replicate that and hopefully another one like that will pop. So I created another one like that. Sorry, I can't make it. I have plans. The plans. And I'm just sitting there in like a little creek. Literally all I did at this time is every weekend I would go out to a new park and I'd get a bunch of B-roll of me just doing stuff like this just so I can make this content. So I had a well of stuff. But as you can see, I saw that this worked. Sorry, I saw that this one worked. So I recreated it here. It's very formulaic. This one did well. Guess what I did? I used that same clip. Over 1,000 views. This one did well. Guess what? POV living out of your car feels no different to you than a nice apartment. I think this one did well because this is highly relatable to a specific niche of people that are really into cheap and budget travel who value experiences over material possessions. And I knew that. So I continued doing the same thing. Here we go. This is me doing that same format. I can't go partying. I have plans, the plans, and it's me in a forest, all that stuff. So I'm really just replicating stuff that I see that works. But here's where things get interesting. In this video, I tried something radically different. As you can see, in all of my videos previous, I didn't really show my face up close because I did a lot of running away from the camera, and I really let the surrounding environment around me do a lot of the speaking. I didn't put a lot of the focus on myself. But in this reel, I did. So I showed my face, and here we have the text POV. You finally decided to do it and buy a $4,000 van to travel in full time. This one had over 100,000 plays. So that was huge for me, all right? And this was on June 17th, okay? So between June the 5th through the 3rd, between June the 3rd and that video that popped on June 17th, I'm not going to do the math. You do the math. That wasn't a whole lot of time. But you can see how many videos I posted in between that, right? It's a lot of fucking videos and a lot of experimentation to get me to this point of trying something new. And it popped. Here's why I think it popped. One, I was showing my face. I think I have a semi-nice face. It was nice. It was different. Two, and this is why I really think it popped off. Talking about how I finally decided to just do it and buy a $4,000 van to travel in for full time is the beginning of a story. And this is another point that I think if you take anything away from this video, this is the most important part. Storytelling is crucial. Not necessarily for virality on Instagram, but to grow an audience of people that actually genuinely give a fuck about you, what you have to say, and your story. And here's why. We as human beings connect with stories because in a lot of stories, we see ourselves in them, right? So for a lot of people out there who haven't started van life or who are interested in starting van life, some people would see this and say, you finally decide to do it and just buy a $4,000 van to travel for time. But people who haven't bought a van, or for people who have bought a van, they might see that and say, oh my God, that's just like me. I want to buy a van someday. Or here I am with my van and I've done it, but I remember when that was me. It's a story that people connect to. This is the beginning of a trajectory. This is the beginning of my story. So when someone sees something and says, oh my goodness, this person's story is just about to start, I want to tune into that. I want to see what it looks like when they finally get their $4,000 van. I want to be there for that moment because that story sounds like my story, and maybe I can learn something from their story that can help me in my life. There's a whole lot that goes into it, but people connect to stories. So when you storytell in your reels like this, you don't necessarily have to sit there and talk to the camera like I'm doing now. You can tell a story by saying something like this. You finally decide to do it and buy a $4,000 van. It's storytelling. It leaves it open. It makes someone think, oh, great. Okay, what's next? I want to follow along. I want to see what happens next. That's a good thing, and that's something that you should aim to do in as many of your reels as possible if you're trying to go viral on Instagram. So that one did well. Over 100,000 views. Incredible. All right. So after that, pretty much all of my videos were consistently getting over 1,000 views. Cool. So I continued posting about just like the things that I wanted, about my dreams, my aspirations, because at this point I wanted my reels and my videos to be as relatable as possible. So I was experimenting, I was trying stuff. Like I don't even have text in this video. And this video got over, 2,000 plays. So here I am doing the similar format, literally just talking about what I want out of life. And mind you, at this point in my life, I was doing a software engineering internship at a big tech company, and I was having a not great time. I was bored. I wasn't enjoying the work. So this was really hitting home for me at first, yeah? Okay, so I had a lot to talk about, and I was really enjoying being in national parks. So that's what a lot of my content was centered around. This video, so this video also did well. This one had 122,000 views. And in this video, I'm talking about how there needs to be a new subcategory name for granola non-binary dirtbags. And for people who aren't in like the travel niche / dirtbag / granola niche, basically like it just consists of people who are really into like cheap travel, sleeping in vans or cars, and just like hanging out in national parks. And granola is just like a person who enjoys being outdoors and like hiking and doing camping activities and stuff like that. And I remember, just being out there in the wild and thinking to myself, oh man, I wish there were like more queers out here. Like, okay, well, what's a name for like a granola queer dirtbag? Like, is there a name for that? It was just something that I thought about. So I posted about it. And before I posted about it, I was pretty nervous because there is a trend on social media, especially right now in our climate, where posting about being queer has a tendency to attract a certain type of person. But honestly, that's okay. They're gonna come. Like, when people come in to talk about my queerness and make fun of me, it doesn't even bother me at this point. It's just kind of like an expected thing. It's unfortunate, but it's not the end all be all. Because if you look at these comments, there are a lot of people here who relate to that, saying, oh my God, me, I want to be your friend. This is really good. Because that means that I'm not the only person that feels like this. Like, oh my goodness, I wish there were more queer dirtbags out here. I wish there were more people out here like me. I wasn't the only one that felt that way. That kind of goes into telling a story, and it kind of goes into being relatable as well. And you have an aspect of yourself that you might find a little bit embarrassing to talk about, or like, oh, I don't know if I should talk about this. I don't know if other people... That is the exact thing you want to talk about, because if you feel that kind of shyness, that coyness, and maybe a little bit of that shame around it, that means there are other people that also feel shyness and coyness and shame around it, which makes it so much more valuable to talk about that thing. So once you push past that initial fear of, oh, I don't know if I can talk about this, and then post it, a lot of the time you'll be surprised by the people that come out of the woodworks to say, oh my God, I'm here, or I feel the same way. And that's a really, really cool thing. I will not lie, especially if you're queer and you talk about queerness, you are likely to experience people who are homophobic in the comment sections. But those people are like clouds. They come and they go. The people that are destined to be in your circle will make themselves heard. Pay attention to that. And that is all that matters. Don't worry about the fucking birds flying around every now and then. Okay, moving on. So the content at this point is doing well. It's picking up steam. I'm getting over 1,000 views on like all of my videos at this point, but this one did really well. Let's analyze it. Why did it do well? POV, you didn't realize how strong your body rejected the 9-to-5 life until a coworker said, I can't wait for 20 years down the line when we're both principal engineers, and it made you want to throw up, and now you have a big choice to make. This is excellent storytelling. I think I could have done it better, but it's excellent storytelling. It talks about my story working in a 9-to-5 and realizing, oh shit, I actually don't really like what I'm doing. That is an incredibly, incredibly relatable message for a lot of people. A lot of people work in corporate America, work in 9-to-5s doing things that they don't really like, and they want to do something different. That's like one of the most relatable messages out there. You'll probably experience that. So it's no wonder that it did well, because not only was I storytelling, I was telling something about my own life that makes someone want to say, oh, interesting, I want to hear more about this person's story. But I was being extremely relatable. I was also showing my face, which did well in the past. I used the same clip that did well in the past. You can't hear it, but I was also using a trending audio. I used text in the way that text was useful before. I left a big fat caption. And I think something else that made this do well is that something like this is also just a little bit controversial. So when you post stuff like this, you are really likely to have what I call like old heads who will like come in the comment section and be like, oh, well, you don't know about, I don't know about that. Basically contrarians who just kind of have, contrarian views. And contrarians aren't necessarily bad. In fact, contrarians, when they're respectful, are really good for your comment section because it creates dialogue, not only between you and the contrarian, but other people who come into the video and disagree with what they have to say. And it creates a back and forth. That's just even more engagement for your videos, which the Instagram algorithm loves. Because when people scroll on a video and they see an interesting conversation happening in the comment section, what's playing in the background while they read that comment? It's your reel. And ultimately, them reading that conversation in your reel, underneath your reel, is causing them to be on the app even longer, which is why it's good to have content that's just a little bit controversial. People obviously take this and turn it up to 100, which is why if you're not careful, you'll find yourself in pockets of the internet that are extremely controversial. But it's also why controversial people on social media do so well, because people talk around them and create buzz, and that's why people stay on the apps longer. That's why algorithms like controversial creators. So if you have the ability to create a video with a little bit of controversy, a little bit of something that can create a dialogue that's respectful, and honestly, I would say if you're going to do this, tread very carefully, because the internet is ruthless and you don't want to tank your mental health over this. But if you have something that people feel strongly about, tease it a little bit, see what happens. I think, and kind of go from there, depending on how you feel mentally about the attention and the different kind of dialogue you're getting in your comment section. See how you feel about that. And you can definitely use it to your advantage, but do tread carefully with contrarian content. So let's keep going. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is the video that went crazy. Okay. So here, June 20th. All right. I posted this reel here of me. This is a clip of me in Utah. And it just says, solo car camping is a non-binary person who's androgynous. It's kind of weird because half the time people assume I'm male, but I still feel a lot of the same fears as solo female travelers for remote places. I don't know. All right.
Really?
I knew before I posted this that this video would attract contrarians because I'm talking about being queer. I'm talking about not being non-binary. Just by default, that's going to attract a certain crowd, and people are going to feel the need to comment their opinions on that. So I knew that it was going to do something. I knew that I was going to create a little bit of a comment section. So I actually, and it did, and it did. I didn't expect it to go as big as it did. But because there were people who were starting to leave unnecessary and disrespectful comments in the comment section, I ended up changing the comment section so only people that I followed could comment, because honestly, I wasn't really into it. I didn't like some of the conversations that were being had in the comment section, and it was becoming unproductive, so I turned them off. But as you can see, the video still did really well, and I got a shit ton of followers from this. Now, I don't think this only did well because there were contrarians in the comment section who had things to say. I also think it did well because there is genuinely a market of queer people out there who are camping, who do outdoorsy stuff, who feel that way. Solo female, the solo female van lifer traveler category is huge. And as someone who doesn't necessarily identify as a woman, I can still tap into those same fears of being solo and traveling by myself as someone who's small, like 5'5". A lot of those fears still apply to me. So this was just a thought that I had. I posted this very vulnerable thought knowing that some people would have opinions about it. And I pushed past that fear, and something you'll notice, something I have noticed, is a lot of the content that I have a lot of hesitancy around posting that I kind of worked through and ended up posting anyway is the content that did well. Now, at the time when this did well, I was like, why did this do well? This is literally me just squatting in a desert, stirring up some oatmeal and just talking about a thought that I had earlier that day. The reason it did well is because it's relatable. People feel this way. It might not be a whole lot of people, but a very specific category of people relate to this. and it blew up. 1.2 million views. Crazy. As you can see, a lot of these videos are doing well. This video went absolutely insane. And let's look at the insights for this one. So with this one, I gained, there we go. Yeah, I gained 5,160 followers from this one alone. Let's analyze it. So basically in this video, I'm talking about wanting to find friends who are queer, who are granola, queer, band card dwelling, adventure seeking, sunset obsessed, spontaneous, high on life. And this was also a trend that was kind of picking up, and I just took advantage of it. It was a trending audio. It was a video trend that was doing well, so I took advantage of that. And a shit ton of people saw it and commented. Oh shit! Hold on, now I gotta go back. And a bunch of people commented on that video saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'd like to be your friend." And it just went crazy. I gained like 5,000 followers from it, like over the course of a few days, and I just kept posting. Like at this point, my account had caught steam. It was doing well. So I just continued posting my regular content, just, be real with me walking around the woods, adding text of me, being fed up with corporate life, or just being ready for a life of traveling, or just enjoying being in the woods because it's how I felt at the time, and it was doing well. So that was really my formula. And like I said, I would record all these videos when I go to these beautiful places, knowing that I would chop up all this footage and use it for my reels in the future. So these are how my videos are looking at this point. This one also did pretty well. It's just me showing that when I fill up my hydration pack, I feel hype as fuck. Because it's like, okay, I'm filling my hydration pack. That means I'm about to go hiking. It's exciting. Yeah. So that was doing well. We're getting a lot of good views at this point. This video still does really well to this day. SZA actually liked this video. Shout out to SZA. That was a really cool moment in my new content creator journey. SZA is known for being quite active on social media, and it's kind of like a badge of honor if SZA ever likes your comment or ever likes your content. So that was like a good omen. It was doing something right. SZA liked my content. Anyway, so I continued doing this, posting a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And at this point, my internship ended. So this was in August, okay? So at this point, I probably had, oh gosh, if I'm assuming correctly, I probably had around like 13,000 followers at this point. Then my internship ended. All right. So because my internship ended, that meant that I would be leaving San Francisco and driving all the way back home to Arkansas, which meant that would give me a good opportunity to record a lot of my travels, driving back to Arkansas and seeing the desert again and all these beautiful places and driving Route 66 without doing Route 66. But I knew that once I got back to Arkansas, I would have to change my content strategy because I no longer have access. I would no longer be surrounded by the beauty of the West Coast and all these new novel places that I'd never been to. I wouldn't have all that footage anymore. I have the footage that I already got, but I wouldn't necessarily have new stuff to use. So I knew that I'd have to change things in the future, but we'll get into that. So as you can see, my content's changing here. And then I got the van. I got my van. So that was really cool. So I started posting about me and my van. I wasn't really storytelling necessarily. At this point, I was still chasing trends, okay? So at this point, I probably had like 14,000 followers. I was still just chasing trends. I wasn't really storytelling. I was just posting, little clips of me being in my van because I was so jazzed to have a van. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then it got to a point where, oh yeah, okay. So this video also picked up. This is one of those videos where I had no idea it would pick up. This video seems like kind of one of those videos where like, okay, sometimes the Instagram algorithm decides just like make something go viral. Sometimes things just go viral and you don't know why they go viral. This is one of those videos. Because I had a lot of videos like this of me just like messing around in my van and all that stuff. And, sometimes I'll think to myself like, oh, I have videos much better than this. But then sometimes something will just pop off. This is one of those situations where things just pop off. Yeah, sometimes things just pop off. There's no more to it than that. And with this one, I actually didn't gain a whole lot of followers from this one, I don't think. Let's see. With this one, I gained Yeah, 495 followers. So that goes to show you, sometimes things will go super, super, super viral, like this reel, which almost has 2 million views, and I gained 495 followers from it. But other reels, like the one that had like 600,000 views, I gained like 4,000 followers with that. So it's really more about creating deep content that relates with people to really, 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 really grow followers. And I think that when you create content that when you show a window into your life, when you tell a story that people can understand easily, that people can relate to, and also make the video they're looking at interesting, I think that creates a lot of opportunity, a lot of really good fertile grounds for people to want to come to your page and learn more about you. You want to like invite people to learn more. You want to create curiosity so they come to your page and want to learn more. So at this point, I was just kind of like doing the same thing. At this point, I had my van in my like college parking lot, and I was, kind of hanging around, and I wasn't really building it out because I was doing school. So I didn't really know what to post. And at this point, I felt kind of stuck because I just wasn't sure what to talk about. So at this point, and I was literally just posting random stuff at this point. I didn't even really know what to do. I didn't really have a strategy at this point. And here, I remember I peaked at like 14.7 thousand followers. And then because the content that I was posting wasn't really very interesting anymore, it wasn't running around on the coast and the beaches and the forests and the desert. I was in Arkansas, and I didn't really have a whole lot of content to post. And I was doing school, so I was just busy. So I knew I needed to change something. So here's what I decided to do. And I remember I started losing followers by the day. And that pissed me off because I was like, okay, all right, I can plateau with my follower growth. That's fine. Losing followers, here's what I did, start gaining followers again. I decided to move into my van, even though it wasn't built out completely. Like even now, it's still like halfway built out. But I decided to move into it, and I decided to do daily vlogs for Instagram, for short form, about moving into my van. And here's how that started. So I've actually pinned the first one. But basically, the way that I figured to do this is one day I literally sat down on my laptop and I studied a bunch of different videos from people who were doing stuff like me. And I saw that something that was really popular in the van life niche were people who moved into their vans and just documented like day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, this is day 4 of me doing this thing, because it creates the perfect trajectory for a story. Not only was I just like creating a story by telling someone in one reel, this is something that I feel, and that's it. It was a story that I could connect and thread through an entire timeline. So I knew that that was what I wanted to do. So that's what I started to do. I literally threw a futon in my van and started talking about it. And I knew, okay, yeah, like it's not perfect, but that's not the point. It doesn't need to be perfect. I wanted it to be relatable, because something as well, specifically in the van life niche, is that a lot of the vans you see on like Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube are these beautiful, like completely souped up, well thought out vans that have obviously had a lot of love and care and money poured into them. But I didn't have a lot of that at the time. I had not a lot of money, but I had a van, and I wanted to post about my journey getting my ass into that van, even though it wasn't completely built out, because I wanted it to be relatable. The aesthetics didn't matter. And before, I used to get really caught up on like, okay, well, if I record a video, I have to take off my glasses because I don't want to like wear my glasses in my videos, and because I look better without my glasses. I told myself that I wasn't going to care about any of that. I was just going to create videos exactly as I am, not care about looking sexy and not care about my van looking sexy and everything. Like literally just record my exact day-to-day as authentically as I could. Authenticity was the main thing I cared about, and just being real. Because I figured, okay, if I can be real and authentic and relatable, that'll carry. People will feel that. So that's what I did. That's what I focused on. So this was day 1, and then I've gone all the way to day 37. And because I've done that, I went from 14.5 thousand followers to just under 25,000 followers in like a little over a month. So that, I rocketed my followers because I started to focus on storytelling. And that is exactly what I will be doing going into 2025. The only thing is, I'm going into another semester of school, and I simply cannot continue doing day in the life videos every single day. So the thing, this is what I'm going to be changing for 2025. I'll be changing my strategy. So I'll be going from daily day in the life videos to maybe posting 2 or 3 a week and focusing on doing carousels that provide even more value for my audience. So I'll be doing a few day in the life reels every here and there, a few carousels every here and there. And carousels are basically, let me see if I can find one here. Carousels are so here's a carousel. So I'll be doing more stuff like this that provides even more value for my audience, because I've talked to my audience a lot, and something that I know people are curious about is okay, well, how did I get into van life? How did I do this? I want to create more informational content, and not only just informational content on the Instagram platform, but on my platform as well. So another thing that I did since starting my day in the life videos is I started a newsletter called The Kin List, which you can actually subscribe to if you're interested in becoming a creator who wants to travel. To give you the quick skinny, newsletters are great because, long story short, when you have an audience on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, as a warning, TikTok is probably going to be banned in January. When you have audiences on these platforms, those audiences are rated and can be taken away from you at any point. So you will always have your newsletter subscribers. Nobody can take that away from you. That's literally a rated audience versus an owned audience. You own your email list. You don't own your Instagram followers. That can be taken away if Zuck decides to just nuke Instagram, which he won't. But if he did, they'd be gone. So that's why I started a newsletter, but that's for another video. But anyways, my content is going to be focused more now, going into 2025, into delivering as much value as I possibly can to the following that I already have. But if I continue posting the way that I've been posting, I'm set to make 100,000 followers, which is very, very, very exciting. So if you're interested in growing a following on Instagram or even on YouTube, or TikTok is going away, but even Threads or something like that, I created a helpful tool to help with that. So if you're starting from 0 followers, just like I started, this is something that might help you. Basically, I've created a content creation tool that'll help you start with the basics and understand and defining your why you want to create content and what you want to create content about and who you want to create it for. And it has things like topic trees in it about what you want to create, and it'll help you identify creators that you like and understand why you like those creators so that you can start to curate your content around what they're doing and it's designed to help you find the missing pieces in the niches that you want to get into so that you can fill those holes, because essentially that's what I did with my account. I realized that there weren't many people, specifically queer people and queer Black people, posting travel content to the degree that other people were. And I wanted to fill that gap. So that's kind of how I made my way in there. That's what this is designed to help you do. It's designed to help you find the holes that exist online so that you can kind of mold your own little pocket of the internet and find your community. That's what it's for. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe to my newsletter. And once you subscribe to my newsletter, you can download it. I'll also put it below if you want to download it just for you guys, because I want to help you guys create content that you really care about and grow a following. You can either make a vision board in Milanote, which I've done. So if you're interested in that, click the link down below and you'll get access to it. If this video was valuable at all to you, feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And if you'd like information like this in your inbox every week, you can subscribe to my newsletter. It's all about content creation and travel and my experience in learning what works and what doesn't. So if you want to save a hell of a lot of time with experimentation and you want to learn directly from me, feel free to subscribe to that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.